As an agent, you know that there are certain moments in a transaction with a client, whether it's in the early stage of your lead generation, while you're following up with that client, and when you go to actually close on them and close on them with the home that they're looking to get, either from sale or for purchase, you know that there are a couple key moments where the words you say matter. Now, Phil M. Jones is someone that I have been following a lot. He's been doing a lot of really good work with Keller Williams. I'm going to go over a couple of his really basic core tenets, but I encourage all of you, get the audiobook or get his actual book, Exactly What to Say, and he also has an Exactly What to Say for Realtors. This one book, it is not a super long read. It is just some of the best keys that unlock defensive buyers, defensive sellers, and defensive prospects so that you can get on their level very quickly in order to gain them for a client. So let's just run through a couple of his 4 basic tenets here. 1, prepare for the recurring key moments in your life. And this comes to developing your pantry of words. You don't always have to come up with a new and unique way of saying the same thing to different people because they didn't hear you say it the last time. It's okay for you to have 1 or 2 kind of standard ways that you want to present a certain idea, right? Let's talk about a couple examples of that. 1 would be you're chatting with somebody and you want to convert them to an appointment. Well, we go about that a lot of different ways. Yes, there's the indirect close, there's the direct close, there's the assumptive close, there's all the different close. But at the end of the day, one of the easiest ones is your LP Mama script. Just knowing, is that the location you want? Is that the price you want? Have you gotten pre-approved for a mortgage? Have you been working with an agent? What's your motivation? Fantastic. Well, most people at this stage, the next steps are for us to sit down and do what's called a buyer strategy session or a buyer consultation, right? We also want to know a little bit more about what's important to a buyer. Hey, buyer, I know that everything seems important, but on a scale of 1 to 10, is that a 10, meaning I can't live without it? Or is that more like a 7? Nice to have, I really would like it, but if I don't get it, it's not going to derail the sale. Sometimes helping getting a little bit of weight starts to make these things a little bit more real for the buyer. How about sellers asking about commissions? Hey seller, let me ask you a question. What do you understand about the correlation between listing agents who charge really low commissions and actually the value that they bring to the table? What do you understand about that? All commissions negotiable, of course, but you get the point here. We need to understand how to draw back what could be an initially offensive or defensive position that your prospect is taking, and you need to be able to disarm and ask some of these relevant questions. So developing your pantry of words is number 1, and having some of those good key phrases to go to is helpful. Now, number 2, ask questions on the front end to avoid problems on the back end. We always talk about this. 60 seconds of proactivity can save you 20 minutes of reactivity, right? So you want to be able to play out these hypotheticals with your client, right? Just imagine, right? Just imagine we go to market when you say that you want to without getting professional photography done. I want to illuminate what that's going to look like in terms of getting the best exposure for your home. Hey, seller, how would you feel if we did or did not have an open house the first weekend and instead maybe waited till the second weekend? How would you feel about that? And hey, seller, I know you really want this to happen inside of the transaction, but help me understand. Help me understand why you see it that way. What base are you coming from a point of reference in order to say that that is something you absolutely need? So this number 2, asking questions on the front end helps to avoid problems on the back end. Just play out the scenarios and then ask the relevant questions that you need up front. Number 3, be intentional in the first 15 seconds of a conversation. You are there to set the tone. I don't care if you are a brand new agent. I don't care if you've been in the business 40 years. Anyone that comes to us and anyone that we engage in a real estate manner, they're looking for us to be the professional. Now, a really good opening that you can use in almost any conversation, this simple framework, and it's just a compliment, a mutually agreeable fact, and a question. Right, and let's stay on the seller example and say, hey, I'm having somebody that's asking me about, hey, I'm curious what my home is worth, right? Hey, thanks so much, seller. I really appreciate how much time and attention you've put on your home. It's obviously a beautiful home, compliment. I understand, and we can both appreciate that right now in today's market, sellers are getting a lot more for their home that they ever dreamed of. is that something you would consider hearing about what your absolutely price would be, right? That price that if you got it, you'd say, absolutely, I'd be willing to list, right? So a compliment, mutually agreeable fact, and then a question. And it's just a good way of kind of playing catch with somebody, right? They throw something to you, you grab it, and then you can come back. Now that's kind of in between all the conversations, but it goes to be true here in the first 15 seconds of a conversation. Don't hop on a phone call, especially if you're cold calling or prospecting that way, and fumble through your first 7 seconds. They're wondering what kind of business would call me with this. No, businesses and established brands, they call with a very specific way of beginning that conversation. You need to be acting similarly. Last one here, guys. Work on 3 critical conversations at any given time. 1 should be in your personal life, 1 should be you as a leader, and 1 should be money in your pocket. We in life, we all have, whether it's a significant other or someone that we're most closest to, there's always something that we have that we're probably right on the other side of fear and having a really important conversation that would move our relationship closer together. Don't be afraid to have that conversation, but also prepare for it. Don't fumble into that conversation. Plan out what you're going to say to give the other person space and air. At work, we all work. Sometimes we have a work rival, and not in a sense that we're combative against each other. Maybe we're just a little oil and water in our communication style. These critical conversations with somebody like that, you could actually just be like one really meeting in the minds conversation from taking somebody who you may be adversarial with in work to actually get them on your side just because you found a way to help each other understand where you're coming from. And finally, the last one is, what is the critical conversation that you need to have next to get money in your pocket? Where's the next opportunity that's coming from? Is it something that's holding you back internally in terms of your family dynamic that's not allowing you to pursue that? Is it a time commitment that you need to have with the person whose time is expected of you? Is there a promotion conversation that you need to have at your work or at your job where you need to be moving that forward? And bringing it back to the real estate agent context, is there a client and a conversation and a follow-up that you've been consistently having that just hasn't made it to that point of actually asking for the business? Well, get prepped, get ready for what to say, because if the last time that you want to think about what you should be saying to somebody is at the time that you're saying it to them. You either have the opportunity to practice on yourself, practice on the mirror, practice on a dog, practice on a partner, or practice live right in front of them when the stakes are the highest. That's the last time you should think about it. So guys, Connor Tuck, team leader, KW Empowered, but go check out Phil M. Jones. Go check out exactly what to say. His audiobooks are fantastic because you get to hear the way that he delivers these things. But if nothing more, this material will help you move more clients into becoming your customers, help move more friends to become best friends, help you become closer with your family, friends, and ultimately be prepared for those monetary conversations to move yourself forward. Have a great day, guys. Best of luck.